Trump deploys troops to Portland to protect ICE, calling it full force if necessary. In a move that screams subtlety is for suckers. The president sending soldiers to shield ICE from what exactly? A city full of baristas and bookshops? Irony, thy name is overkill.
Advanta, backed by KKR, hires 4 banks for $500 million IPO, yet farmers still can't afford seeds. $1 billion IPO sprouting from a land where farmers barely scrape by. It's like planting gold in a field of dust and calling it agriculture.
Dubai police arrest sex trade boss. Investigation reveals high-end party exploitation, yet VIP clientele remains untouched. It's like raiding the snake pit and leaving the nest of vipers to slither away, justice served only to those low enough on the food chain.
White House memo orders agencies to prepare layoffs and markets poised for chaos despite usual investor indifference. It's like throwing a Molotov cocktail into a crowded boardroom. Suddenly, everyone cares about the fire they helped start. Investors might just feel the burn this time.
Carney meets European leaders in UK, promises unity, then watches Brexit chaos continue unabated. Mark Carney's diplomatic charm offensive is like a band-aid on a bullet wound. Looks nice, but doesn't stop the bleeding. Britain's still tangled in its own red tape.
The Supreme Court strikes down race-based affirmative action, promises class-based solutions, then ensures elite universities remain bastions of privilege. Class-based affirmative action is the new unicorn, magical, mythical, and nowhere to be found. It's the perfect solution for preserving the status quo while pretending to change it.
Yankees' Giancarlo Stanton obliterates a 451-foot homer, leaving Orioles' Trevor Rogers with existential dread. Stanton's bat seems to have a vendetta against baseballs.
Trump double dares United Nations to mock him again, claiming his administration's triumph. Who knew international diplomacy had a laugh track? Maybe next time he'll bring a whoopee cushion instead of a speech.
UK judge declares NEEP member's terrorism case null and void, citing tardy charges. Justice delayed is justice denied, more like justice lost in the mail, with a side of legal bureaucratic bungling.
Trump officials demand asylum restrictions, but forget the broken parts are mostly their own doing. When you're the one swinging the wrecking ball, maybe don't act shocked when the walls come tumbling down. Freeport halts Grasberg mine production, just as Indonesia dreams of controlling the chaos.
Eswatini judge skips hearing on US deportations, redefining the judicial concept of absence makes the heart grow fonder. If judges can ghost court dates like bad Tinder matches, maybe justice really is just a swipe left away.
Trump deploys troops to Portland, authorizing full force, because nothing says peace like military intervention. When the commander-in-chief treats a city like a war zone, it's hard to tell if he's protecting citizens or auditioning for a dystopian film.
Rep. Brian Mast removes passport killer from bill after backlash, proving public outrage still packs a punch. When lawmakers play passport roulette, it's nice to see citizens reminding them that not everyone wants to be a globe-trotting ghost.
Italy deploys frigate following drone attack on Gaza aid flotilla, calls for accountability. When warships become the new peacekeepers, you know the world's playing battleship with real lives at stake.
Jennifer Lawrence condemns Gaza genocide, calls it a humanitarian crisis. When Hollywood speaks louder than politicians, maybe it's time to reconsider who we elect to run the world stage.
Only 5% of new bands break into mainstream, and the music industry blames TikTok. When your success depends on going viral, maybe it's time to admit the algorithm's running the show, not the talent.
Gold plots shut down to hurt Democrats, showing government sabotage is their kink of choice. When your political strategy reads like a revenge fantasy, maybe it's time to swap the villain cape for some grown-up pants.
Default seeks partners for Vortex spaceplane, proving even billion-euro projects need BFFs. When your billion-euro space toy needs a buddy system, maybe it's time to rethink the whole lone wolf approach to aerospace engineering.
Charlie Kirk's app, aiming to dox critics, doxed its own users instead because irony is a feature, not a bug. When you're trying to out your enemies but end up exposing your allies, it's time to consider a career in slapstick comedy instead of tech.
In the land of the free, justice is just another episode of Who Wants to Be a Political Scapegoat, starring your least favorite ex-FBI director.
UN Security Council to vote on Iran nuclear sanctions, proving diplomacy's déjà vu. Just when you thought the geopolitical soap opera had a new plot, it's the same old rerun: sanctions, negotiations, repeat.
Shanghai Stock Exchange approves more Threads IPO, betting on AI chips. In a world where silicon is the new gold, China scripts its own semiconductor saga, while the West clutches its microchips like pearls.
Tech billionaires wield White House influence yet crave monarchy. Apparently, ruling the free world isn't enough when your ego measures the size of your stock options. Time to crown the kings of hubris.
Disney revives Kimmel's show, but 2 affiliates keep it off air.
Israeli strikes overwhelm Gaza hospitals. Medics struggle with relentless casualties. In the theater of war, medics play the losing role, patching lives with threadbare supplies while politicians trade human costs for political gains.
Only 30% of Bronx kids get quality education, and politicians call it progress. Trump imposes 100% tariffs on pharmaceuticals because medicine wasn't expensive enough already. When life-saving drugs cost as much as a used car, who benefits? Certainly not the patient, maybe the billionaire with a stock portfolio in chaos.
Justice Department targets James Comey for perjury, another twist in the political soap opera. When truth becomes the rarest currency in Washington, indictments are just a new ratings boost. Stay tuned for the next episode of Who Lied to Congress?
Nexstar revives Jimmy Kimmel's show, Sinclair follows suit after blackout. When corporate giants flip the switch back on, it's like finding out they unplugged laughter for profit. Broadcast wars, where your favorite jokes are hostages.
Microsoft blocks Israel's data center access, citing ethical concerns. When even a tech giant draws a line in the silicon, you know the surveillance state has gone too far. Apparently privacy isn't just a bug to be patched.
Auto targets wealthy Europeans with free private funds, betting big on exclusivity. Just when you thought your yacht club membership was enough, Olo's here to remind you that true prestige is buying into a fund named after a typo.
When even nostalgia's not enough to lure you back to the Disney grind.
Khamenei dismisses U.S. talks on nuclear program, calls it a sheer dead end. When your strategy is talk to the hand, diplomacy becomes a mime act of missed opportunities, starring the leader who prefers his uranium enriched and his dialogue impoverished.
Trump claims a deal with Netanyahu will end Gaza war, promises Israeli withdrawal. 21 points and one giant leap into fantasy. Negotiating peace with a man who thinks rules solve everything is like trusting a cat to guard your canary.
A 62-year-old woman hospitalized with severe pain, diet soda cures her. Who knew the secret to modern medicine was carbonated chemicals in its hands, except candy floss for appendicitis.
Supreme Court allows Trump to fire FTC Democrat, despite 90-year-old precedent. When the highest court bends to the whims of a reality TV president,
Only 30% of undocumented workers obtain licenses, and the system calls it fair. Trying to drive the American dream without a license is like trying to navigate a labyrinth, blindfolded.
US investigates farm input suppliers for antitrust violations while farmers drown in rising costs. Watching the government scrutinize big agri is like watching a snail race, slow, slimy, and likely to leave a trail of excuses.
Swiss Economy Minister Parmelin leads US tariff talks.
Pakistan edges past Bangladesh by 11 runs, sets up showdown with India in Asia Cup final. Cricket diplomacy, where regional tensions are bowled over by wickets, but peace remains caught behind.
Tennessee House ex-speaker gets 3 years for mail fraud, claims it was just creative correspondence. When politicians start playing pen pals with public funds, it's less Dear John and more Dear Jail.
Only 30% of cybersecurity teams catch bad IIS malware via SEO poisoning, and hackers call it a traffic optimization strategy. When malware is mistaken for marketing, it's clear the tech world has officially entered its "oops, we did it again" Britney Spears era.
Amazon pays $2.5 billion to settle FTC charges, yet calls it a customer satisfaction initiative. So next time you accidentally sign up for Prime, remember, it's not a scam, it's just a billion-dollar oopsie that helps Jeff Bezos sleep better at night.
President Trump praises Argentina's austerity measures, contradicting his America First mantra, while U.S. citizens juggle inflation like circus clowns. Apparently, when it comes to making other countries great again, belt-tightening is a virtue. But back home, it's just another excuse for the rich to loosen theirs.
Greek Prime Minister Kyriakos Mitsotakis calls spyware scandal a scandal, yet no official space charges, just a courtroom circus. In a plot twist worthy of a soap opera, Greece's leaders are playing pass the blame, while the spyware quietly collects dust on the evidence shelf.
When your instrumental hip-hop leaves you feeling more like you're waiting for a dentist than dancing in the streets, it's time to rethink the funk.
The MAGA movement prepares to dump Donald Trump, but his replacement is just another mirror with a different frame. Trading one demagogue for another is like swapping a hurricane for a tornado, different style, same destruction.
The White House abandons solar power to embrace fossil fuels because who needs clean energy when you can have nostalgia for oil spills? Apparently, the only green in the White House's future is the envy of those still clinging to the past.